What's up, good people? It's Monday. It's your boy, Langston Frazier. Welcome back to the Langston Frazier Show podcast. Man, it's been a minute since I've been on the air, but it feels real good to be back. We got a great episode in store for you. A whole bunch of great golf and great sports around the world. I'm going to tell you about and kind of dive into some cool issues headed into a special week. I think it's one of the best weeks in golf. It is Masters Week. Good people, it is Monday. This is a golf-related podcast where we get to hear some of the most interesting stories affecting the game of golf from both inside and outside the industry, featuring some of the most up-and-coming names. If you haven't checked out the most recent episode of the podcast, I highly suggest that you do. You can find the Langston Frazier Show podcast wherever you get your podcast. Well, man, I tell you, a lot has been going on in the golf world, and I tell you, not even the golf world, just like the sports world in general. Last night, Louisiana State University, LSU, beat Iowa. Now, a lot of people didn't see that coming. They thought Caitlin Clark was going to pull off the win over Angel Reese and the team, but LSU got it done, beating the Hawkeyes 102-85, winning the first ever national championship for the Tigers. Absolutely insane. I watched the game a little earlier yesterday. Absolutely enjoyed the game. It was a real hard-fought battle. Yes, you got some of the rough calls and etc., etc. We're not going to get into all that. That is not the place for this. But it was a real great game of competitors between the two schools. And, LSU's got its first Natty Championship, and it is what it is. And if Iowa wants it, they're going to come back and get it next year. But moving on to the golf of the week, because obviously this is a golf focused podcast. Just yesterday at the Valero, Texas Open, Corey Connors of Canada wins for the second time in 5 years as a PGA Tour winner at TPC San Antonio, which is absolutely incredible. He will be in this week's edition of the Masters. Already got his spot locked up, and so I'm excited to see what he does this week at Augusta National, and it's going to be good. And let's turn the tables a little bit to the LPGA Tour. Yu Ling Yin, I think that's how you say her name, wins for the first time on the LPGA Tour, wins the DIO Implant LA Open, holding off some of the best players in the game, included Jordan Talley, and by shot, literally all it was shot, and pulled out a great fist bump. That's her first win on the LPGA Tour, and only the second player from China to win on the circuit. So congratulations to her, and also relates to some news that we're going to get on a little later in the podcast. But we're super excited to see kind of the game of women's golf really kind of get some boost to it over the last few months, last few years. But anytime you're getting to listen or watch professional golf from the men's side to the ladies' side, it's really inspiring to see, and really inspiring the next generation. Now, we get over back into the college basketball. Let's jump over into the men's side of things. Man, the men's got a weird matchup going into the championship game. You look at the championship game. Well, let's just look at the Final Four. You had San Diego State beating at a buzzer beater over Florida Atlantic University. Obviously, they had a storybook picture throughout the season. The 5 seed being San Diego State, the 9 seed being Florida Atlantic. No one thought they were going to do it. Everybody's bracket is busted. I don't know what to tell you. If you had money on the March Madness, but it was definitely madness this year. Then you look on the other side of the bracket. One of the favorites out of the men's basketball scene for the last few years, UConn gets the victory over a landslide victory, 72 to 59 over the fifth seed Miami. So we get down to the showdown, which is going to take place tomorrow night. It's going to be the number 4 seed UConn versus San Diego State University for the national championship. It is going to be a good one. I think San Diego State, obviously being the fifth seed, I think a lot of people are counting them out. I think they're going to give them a run for the money, especially after beating Florida Atlantic in a buzzer beater, literally a buzzer beater. What a game for that. But sports again, it's moving and it's moving and changing, which is really, really good. But that's how sports works, right? Sports is always evolving. You're learning something new. But that's the process you go through when you're going through sports. But all these student athletes are really, really good at what they do, especially with the name, image, and likeness. They're really using their platforms to grow their brands. I've talked about it before. It's so crucial nowadays in the scene of the transfer portal, picking up a team in literally less than 3 months, and starting from scratch and building something really special and having these student athletes click with each other, regardless of the sport, whether it's football, basketball, men's and women's golf, lacrosse, you name your sport, it happens, but it's all good. It's all good. But back over to the professional sports in men's soccer. Newcastle beats one of the best teams, I think, in the world, to hold them. Manchester United falls to Newcastle 2-0 or 2-0, as the soccer folks like to say. It is what it is. Making a statement, big statement, coming down the closing stretch of that game, but it's all good. All good. And people talk about Manchester United. They're okay. They're better in some games and in some matches, I per se. I think Newcastle, you gotta watch them. They're sneaky good. They are sneaky good. But let's take a quick break. We're gonna jump into some other big golf news that's happening around the world. Golf, we're going to talk about some kids, we're going to talk about some amateurs on the ladies' side, and one of the best weeks in golf at the Masters. This portion of the Langston Fraser Show is presented by the all-new Callaway Paradigm Driver. This is a complete shift in performance with a design that breaks the trade-off between incredible distance and exceptional forgiveness. The Paradigm Shift construction features an industry-first 360-degree carbon chassis that eliminates titanium from the body, so we can push the weight and stability to the limit. Visit CallawayGolf.com to check out the all-new Paradigm Driver. Well, I guess that last ad kind of gave it away, but a little over a month and a half ago, made an equipment change that I'm really, really excited to officially talk about. I signed with Callaway Golf after spending a number of years with another company, but I'm so glad to join the Callaway team. And kind of their mission of growing the game. I think they're a game changer in the market, from the media space to all their businesses that they own, like OGO, and Top Golf and Top Tracer, and a lot of the products that they have out on the golf market and even outside of the golf market. But on the 23rd of February, I did make an equipment change to Team Callaway. I'll be playing all 14 clubs in the bag. Driver on through with an Odyssey putter, bag, golf ball, gloves, the whole nine. So if you want to check out my What's in the Bag, it is coming very, very soon. Just head over to my Instagram at Langston Frazier, or you can follow me on Twitter at Langston Frazier, and the What's in the Bag is coming soon. Well, that's that's like the major announcement. Um, Not just because we're coming back to another episode. Y'all needed to know that in the first place because I think y'all should know. Um, but let's move on. Um, Obviously, it is Masters Monday. It is Masters Week. Um, Everything Augusta National in Augusta, Georgia. I think one of the best venues, one of the best majors in the game of golf. So this past weekend, if you didn't get to watch, it was a showdown for the 2023 Augusta National Women's Amateur, and it was good. Um, Rose Zhang, who is a sophomore at Stanford University in California, absolutely went on a tear. Folks, if you didn't watch it, you missed out. Um, because it was some incredible golf, just to watch on TV, and be a witness of what happened at Augusta National. So obviously, you get some of the best collegiate, amateur women's golfers in the world, and you get some of that are not in college as well. They all meet up to play 3 rounds of great golf at Champions Gate Retreat. And then they play the first 2 rounds there. They take a break on Saturday. If you don't know, all the players get to tee it up at Augusta National for a practice round. And then they play the final round on Sunday. So that's typically the way it works. They'll take the top 30 in ties. And Rosang went on an absolute tear. If you didn't see it, absolutely incredible. Like there's really not much to say about it. It's just stellar golf. First round, she shoots a 66. Second round, she shoots 65, breaks the scoring record the previous day by a stroke. So she shoots at 65 in the second round. Third round was a little dicey. Shot 67. Which is going to be 4 over par at Augusta National to shoot a total score of 207. And that would be tied at the time with Jenny Bay, who plays out of 50-year senior, who plays out of Georgia, would also go 9 under par in regulation, would end up going 2 under for the day. She would shoot 69, 68, 70 that day to put her in a tie with Rose Zhang. Then comes the playoff because obviously they're just not going to settle it on the 18th green and call it is what it is and do a scorecard playoff because those days are over. They went back to a 2-hole playoff, which was absolutely incredible. Typically, it was a Sunday playoff, and it really turned out it was neck and neck. They teed off on 18. They played the 18th hole over again, which they both players, Jenny Bay and Rose Zhang, both shot par on the fourth, on the par 4 on the 18th, and then they took it back over to the 10th hole, and that's where it pretty much sealed the deal. Rosang with a great drive off the tee, Jenny Bay with a great tee shot off the tee. Jenny Bay just missed her shot just a little bit off to the left side green. Um, Rolled down to a very uncomfortable side, kind of gave Rose Zhang an opening. Rose Zhang would come back to just barely miss her birdie putt, but a tap in par putt to win the Augusta National Women's Amateur. And what an incredible win. She is the number 1 ranked amateur in the world. She's to hold that record right now for 133 weeks, finishing at 9 under. Obviously, like I said, 207. She is the reigning individual championship for the NCAA. Also won the U.S. girls junior, the U.S. women's amateur, the NCAA team title as well, and she adds now the Augusta National Women's Amateur Championship, which is insane. She's basically won the trifecta of what amateur golf is for women. Like, it, I hate to say it early. I want her to stay in school at Stanford for another couple weeks, at least give the chance of going for an individual championship and a team title again. I think after that, folks, um, she turns pro. I think it's gonna happen. I think her game is too good to stay in college for another 2 years. Um, like, she was cool, calm, and collective. Started off the final round with a 5 shot lead. Went 4 over on the day through 7 holes on Saturday. Got pulled off the golf course from a weather delay, um, but it was a solid round. Um, but incredible, incredible uh, championship, and she's been there 4 times. Um, I'm really speechless because she's a really has a really complete game from top to bottom. Um, Off the tee, her irons, her short game, her putting is just like exceptional. Um, so like ice lanes locked in. So it was incredible to watch her play this weekend. And if you look at look at her record here over the time that she's been at Sanford, playing just for those 2 years, just under 2 years, I should say. Um, let's look at her record. Three-time McCormick Medal winner, 2021 22. Obviously, the team title, the individual title, the Annika Award winner, um, the Women's Golf Coaches Association Player of the Year, the Honda Sport Award for Golf winner, obviously Freshman of the Year, Pac-12 Golfer of the Year, Pac-12 Freshman of the Year in 2022. Yeah, average scoring around average right now for her is 69.68. It's NCAA single season record. 4 wins so far. Um, and so 4 wins so far during her freshman year, but she has a total of 9 wins throughout her um, career in college, which I don't know, not a whole bunch of golfers get to be that good. Obviously, she started playing golf a little later in life at the age of 9, which is the same age I started playing golf. Didn't turn out to be as good as Roseng, but it's all good. 15 rounds in the 60s. Her low round is 8 under 64. Um, yeah, she's good. She's good. So I can't wait to see kind of where she goes next. Whether she stays in college or she leaves, but um, the whole tournament from top to bottom, watching all these um, great amateur golfers play, um, really inspiring the next generation of golfers that are coming up um, in the game. And some of these golfers have been playing for years and years and years, and it just changes. Like I said, kind of a little earlier with the transfer portal and how college golfers are picking their schools and are committing so early. This name, image, and likeness thing, man, I tell you, um, Rosing is I wouldn't say sponsor, but she uses Callaway golf clubs, which I am also part of Team Callaway as well. But that's just one factor of it. Her mental game, her IQ on the golf course is so strong. Um, it's incredible to essentially blow a 5 shot lead. Um, Obviously, with the weather delay, insane. Anna Davis, who won the women's amateur last year, at Augusta National. Missed the cut, surprisingly. Shot a 4 over 60, a 4 over 76 in the first round, followed up by 72. That 76 really comes from a lift, clean, and place rule that they had on the first day just due to the weather conditions, and she picked up her golf ball twice on the first hole, resulting in that 76, which she didn't get to play in the final round. She got a 9 on that first hole, then went par, double bogey, calmed it back down to par, birdie, and then it finished up 4 over for the day. So that 4 over um, uh, penalty stroke really cost her, but it's okay. I think she's gonna be good going forward. She's committed to play college golf, and just to see her um, play. She's going to play at Auburn University in Alabama. Verbally made that commit back in 2022 in November. So we'll see where she goes. Obviously, she's on Team Titleist, but I think all the golf companies, don't get me wrong, I think all the golf companies make really good golf equipment. Find what fits your swing and what fits you. Um, so that is the Augusta National Women's Amateur. Let's move on real quick. Drive, chip, and putt, man. Um, they've been doing it for a minute, and to see players like Mega Ghana or Ghane get to play in the drive, chip, and putt championship, and then now be old enough to play in the Augusta National Women's Amateur. Incredible to see and really inspiring. Again, the next generation of golfers. So if you didn't check out the results from Augusta National, the women's amateur, or Drive Chip and Putt, check out drivechipputt.com for those winners. A lot of great winners, 8 total winners, had some divisional winners as well. And AWNA, the Augusta National Women's Amateur. Check out the results for that championship right there. Now, of course, it is Monday. I think it's Masters week. I think it's Masters 2 weeks because you got the young ladies, you got the kiddos on Sunday, and now it starts to prep for the Masters. The tournament is going to be played, as it always is, at Augusta National in Augusta, Georgia. But it's going to be a great time to kind of see what happens now, because the big question mark is the live golf. Um, Obviously, all those players that went to the live tour, went over to the live tour, can no longer play on PGA Tour events. But as of right now, they are being allowed to play in the Masters tournament. In Brooks Koepka comes off a win, getting to play heading into the Masters, I should say, winning in Orlando, and nabs his second win out there for picking up that first double win on the Live Tour. Now, looking at the Masters, obviously Tiger made a late appearance Sunday evening at on the grounds of Augusta National. No one really knows how he's going to play. He hasn't played much golf, but it's good. Here's some of my golfers that you have to look at as we head into this week, because obviously all the players are good. The storylines are plentiful. Obviously, you got a couple amateurs in there. Let's look at the amateur side here. Sam Bennett of the United States, Ben Carr. Harrison Crow is also in the field. Obviously, you have the Latin America champion, Mateo Hernandez de Javera is in the field as well. Matthew McLean from Northern Ireland, South African player in there as well. And Gordon Sargent, who won a little earlier this year. Great track record as well. Obviously, he's making his first Masters appearance. And in 2022, came the first freshman since 2007 to win the NCAA Division I men's golf individual championship. adds his name to Jack Nicklaus, Ben Crenshaw, Phil Mickelson, Tiger, of course, Max Homa, Bryson DeChambeau. He plays at Vanderbilt. Sophomore, he won the East Lake Cup and is the number one ranked amateur in the world on the men's side. So we'll see how he does. He's only 19, a right-handed player out of the US of A, but it's going to be good. So let's take a look at some of the professional golfers that are playing this week. I think have a chance. Sam Burns, solid game. Patrick Cantlay, always a sleeper here. You go down the list. I think some of the live golfers like Bryson DeChambeau are going to make a move. I think it's just going to happen. It's a long golf course. He's a free agent. He can play whatever he wants to play. Obviously, he's got his bag set up right now with the TaylorMade driver. He's got pink irons. We'll see what he does. Max Homa, great player. I think he's going to try to make a move. Dustin Johnson always has a distance. Obviously, Zach Johnson is one of Masters. I think he can be in contention in the top 20 coming down the stretch on Sunday night. Let's look at some of the exciting golfers. Minwoo Lee, is making his debut in the Masters tournament. Kevin Na, Joaquin Neiman. There's like a lot of solid golfers looking. But if you look at the Masters odds right now, there's a bunch of golfers up there who could really win this championship. But obviously, it comes on a little bit of experience. It also comes on a little bit of creativity off the tee and around the greens. Obviously, Tiger expected to be a part of the Masters fields, but let's take a look at the odds here. Everybody's, I think, automatic pick right now is Rory McIlroy. 2 weeks ago, he did put in a Scotty putter. He did use a similar putter to win his first two majors. And that will be the career Grand Slam if he wins. Tiger Woods right now is 60-1. Long shot, but you can never count Tiger Woods out. Scotty Scheffler 13-2. Roy McIlroy 15-2 odds to win. John Rahm 8-1 odds to win. It's going to be tight. It's going to be a tight Sunday coming down the stretch. But looking, Jordan Spieth is one of the contention players right now to win the Masters. If he can get through Amen's corner and get around some of those tricky holes, that's going to be what it is for him. I think he's always been a consistent player, and his game is really looking good right now as far as possibly winning the Masters again. Then let's go. Scotty Scheffler, again, obviously the favorite here. Then Roy McIlroy, John Rahm, Jordan Spieth, Cantlay, Jason Day, obviously uh, a great pick. Cameron Smith, or Cam Smith as they call him, Xander Schauffele, Tony Finau, JT, Colin Morikawa, Dustin Johnson, Homa, Cameron Young, Will Zalatoris. The field is stacked. I think it's going to be a really good Masters this week in Augusta, Georgia. I want to know who your favorite golfer is right now, whether it's on the Live Tour, the LPGA Tour, or the professional circuit on the PGA Tour. Let me know who you think is going to win the Masters, and tell me who your favorite golfer is and why they're going to win. I'm so curious to figure out who's going to be the winner coming down Sunday. I'm not putting in the bets on anybody because I don't want to, but I just wish the best to all the players. I don't want any of the drama that people are talking about between the live golfers and the PGA Tour golfers. But let's look at, I think, one of the most important parts of the Masters tournament. I think it really comes down to what are they eating at the Champions Dinner? Obviously, Scotty Scheffler is hosting dinner. Let's look at what's going to be on the menu. I think it's going to be a great dish here. Some great menus here, but Scotty Scheffler, I think, is going to have a great meal. Let's take a look at what he's having. He's going to have cheeseburger sliders, a Scotty style, whatever Scotty style means. Um, Firecracker shrimp as an appetizer, tortilla soup with avocado crispy blue tortilla strips, sour cream, cilantro, lime. Main course, they're going with the steak, Texas ribeye, of course. They're going with the black and red fish family style mac and cheese with jalapeno cream corn, fried Brussels sprouts, seasoned fried, and for dessert, he's going old school. You got the warm chocolate chip cookie skillet with cookies and cream ice cream. Sign me up. Where do I get to have a seat at the table? I think a lot of people are feeling really good about this menu, um, solely because they can make it at home. It's a little more American, which is cool, um, but it's a little bit more traditional, and people can kind of figure out what they're going to eat. Um, come, come just for the Masters, and I think they may be doing like a putting competition. Um, as of right now, between the Live guys and the PGA Tour. But it's going to be a good meal either way, for the Masters champion. Before we go, real quick, I do want to give a shout out to one of my favorite junior golfers out there, Miss Gabby Hampstead, who won her age division of the Junior Tour powered by Under Armour, Southern Maryland edition, Sunday. Back-to-back wins, 2 weeks in a row for her. Won her age division, 13 years old, out of Delaware. Great kid. Shot a 44. Saw her the other day at Top Golf as a quick little surprise, and I happened just to be at the right place, right time. Saw her at Top Golf and talked about her golf game and playing confident golf. So congratulations to her. I'm so proud of you, Gabby. Also, I do want to give a shout out to the 2023-2024 class, PGA League class, that is made up of cohort 8 that the PGA of America sponsors every year. It's a diversity inclusion program looking to give its members a leg up as it comes to leadership and section governance in the PGA of America, as well as nationally and other leadership positions. I was lucky enough to be one of 15 selected to be in that program to my other 14 colleagues. I want to say congratulations on being named to cohort 8, class of 2023-2024 PGA Lead program. Looking forward to a great 18 months with the rest of you, kind of learning and growing and expanding the association and the game that we all love, in partnership with the PGA. That program is put on every year, the last few years, but this year it's being ran by Chris Noble and Molly Gallatin. So I'm super excited to be a part of that program. And yeah, we'll see you next week on the Langston Fraser Show. That's basically it. I just wanted to say what's up and what is going on. If you enjoyed what you listened to, make sure you subscribe to the Langston Fraser Show if you enjoyed what you listened to. And it's going to be a really good time. I do have some episodes coming up very, very soon if you want to check them out. Of course, you can check out all the episodes if you would like to. You can find the Langston Fraser Show wherever you can find your favorite podcasts. Connect with me on Twitter and on social media. I'm at Langston Fraser on Twitter. Let me know who you want to hear from next and what topics you want to hear and you want us to cover. Use the hashtag TLFSPod to connect with the show. And of course, once again, don't forget to comment, subscribe, rate the podcast, and don't forget to share the podcast. You can find the podcast wherever you find your favorite pod, on Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and so many more platforms. But folks, that is it for me. I am your host, Langston Frazier. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, keep the golf ball in the fairway, and we'll see you back here for another episode of the Langston Frazier Show.